out the gate here strong, and I feel that's something they can use to their advantage, right? They don't, Optic don't really know what to fully expect from Epsilon, so if they use that to their advantage, I think maybe, you know, a weapon placement or two come through, they do mix it up. I mean, is that something you've seen in Europe? How's their weapon placement been?
You know, honestly, from EU compared to NA, I see a lot more variety in the NA side, right? I think
Really? Wow.
from that hammer burst nerf, it was kind of a slow adaptation from the EU side. They were still using those hammer bursts, right? Which I'm sure you're familiar with, and those, you know, the support locations off spawn.
Yep.
Marks was, you know, kind of, it's kind of an example, right? That the NA like meta and adaptation to these changes and the strategy is maybe a little bit ahead in terms of EU. My question right now, I'm asking myself, is have Epsilon done the research? Have they planned to go against Optic Gaming?
I would hope so, right? You would hope so. I mean, this is the one team that you're going to see absolutely here, there, and everywhere. You can see them streaming on Twitch pretty much every single day. You know that they're going to be uploading onto YouTube as well. This is the one team where if you're thinking about doing research, this is the team that you would do it, right? You expect to see them in the grand final. If you're coming over here and you're saying we're going to win this event, you're most likely going to have to go through Optic Gaming.
No doubt.
So
no doubt.
Hopefully they have done their research, but we are jumping straight into the action. Map number 1, we're heading over to Foundation. And of course, it's going to be Epsilon, our blue squad, Optic Gaming, our red squad. And we're kicking things off with none other than Kenny.
Well, Foundation, a strong map, admittedly, for Epsilon. I believe this is Optic Gaming's pick, but I can't confirm that just yet.
I feel like it could have been any map at all, and you would have been like, yeah, it's a strong map for Epsilon.
You're really shining me off as biased, aren't you?
No, not at all.
That. No,
I'm European as well, so I want to see Epsilon come out and make a good fight. Of course, it is pool play. Yeah. This is for the #1 seed of this pool as well. Bear that in mind. Both teams as it stands currently 1-0. Yeah. So this is really going to give them a deciding potential push here, especially if it was to go to somehow a tiebreaker. This heads-up match would decide that #1 spot. So really a lot on the line. And as I said, I would love to see Epsilon come out and really put up a big fight, really give us a close game. But, I mean, we're talking about the best team in the world right here. This is going to be a tough feat, but I feel like I'm trusting your words here, Toby. If there's a team that can do it, it's going to be this Epsilon squad from you.
I mean, all jokes aside, Epsilon, you've seen them in the Gears Fight Nights. Them on Foundation have been amazing. I mean, they've been good. A 7-2 score very early on in the game, the very first Gears Fight Night against Vitality. This is a strong map. This is a strong map, and Epsilon is a team just like Optic Gaming that really utilize their slaying power, and I think these opening pushes from teams, the team fights, are going to tell the tale for the future of the rounds.
Well, early on, it's already a 93 to 63 point advantage, so Optic Gaming manages to get themselves about a 30-point lead, and the pressure already being applied over towards the Epsilon home hill. Could be a trip cap in Optic Gaming's favor. You expect someone from Epsilon to break it. They have actually overextended over towards B. Now again, the pressure back over towards that A hill and lava. Just more than happy to back away. His teammates both pick up a couple of kills. Of course, we are in the first round here, so respawn delay is only going to be around 10 seconds, but that's all 5 players down for Epsilon. A disastrous start in round #1. The trip cap will come through, and Optic Gaming, well, they're saying, Epsilon, you think you can bang with the best? You're playing the best, and you ain't banging.
Well. You know, I thought Epsilon and Optic were kind of even at the very start of that. You know,
besides the 30-point deficit, yeah, they were pretty
close. In terms of the team fight, in terms of the kills, but then suddenly Optic, of course, they pushed the away hill, and it was just the flicker of the triple cap. You immediately knew Optic had a grasp of that round.
Absolutely. As soon as they get those 4 players down and they clean up the 5th, you know Optic Gaming is flooding that trip cap. It's something they do so well, and the scary thing is how easy they make it look in the early rounds. Some teams with a 10-second respawn, they don't feel confident enough to even attempt to go for a trip cap because they're like, oh, well, you know, if we push and we go down, then they're going to get map control and we're going to lose. Optic are just like, no, we're getting your home hill. You don't have a choice about it. We're killing you and we're capping and we're trip capping and winning the round. Very, very dominant team. Now though, heading into round #2, we're going to be on board with Ash. Fun fact, Ash actually knows a school friend of mine, and he actually lives 5 minutes away from my house in England. So I feel connected to Ash. Also, we're both ginger too, so that probably helps.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel connected to him and his comedy after that walkout. I will not forget that. That is for certain. But
McGregor.
Still in the action, double down in front of him. But it seems like Optic are just going to come away with a win on that team fight at B. Phelpsy picking up a kill, meanwhile, in the middle. But you see the Optic Lancers with those awesome new weapon skins. I'm sure you like these off.
They're absolutely stunning. Speaking of skins, you guys have a chance of winning some skins. You can tune over to live.gearsofwar.com. Awesome giveaways all throughout the weekend, including an NVIDIA graphics card as well. You're definitely going to want to stay tuned for that one. As it stands there, once again, in round #2, it's Optic Gaming that do have the lead here. It's going to be around about 56 to 40 points. So, again, an early lead developing. Now what I'm interested to see is how do Epsilon kind of regain a little bit of control here in this map, because last round, obviously, we just saw Optic Gaming get a couple of kills, and then they flooded, they got a trip cap. And, well, it could be almost deja vu as Someone from Epsilon tries to rotate to B. This is exactly what happened in the first round. Optic Gaming won the trades at B, and they managed to get a trip cap, and that is pretty much, almost deja vu. But the C hill is broken as well. Ash trying to make some plays over at B. Has he bought his team enough time? That, excuse me, that is going to be the question.
Well, Phelpsy coming over to the home hill, but of course.
Deja vu. And look at Lava. Lava saying, this is easy. Like, really? We're playing this right now? This is the competition? We thought it was going to be more difficult right here.
Yeah, Optic Gaming, excuse me, do look very comfortable, especially in that second round. It was just much more clear-cut from the get-go that the kills were just going in the favor of Optic. And, you know, we talk about the snowball effect. As soon as you get one kill and that goes on and on and on, Epsilon pretty much spawn trapped in the end, just trying to break a hill at that point.
And I feel like you're seeing Epsilon maybe panic a little bit there.
Yeah, perhaps.
They need to just kind of calm down, just say, all right, let's just slay out our own base, go from there. You don't necessarily in the early rounds need to panic. You still have plenty of time left, as Optic Gaming now have themselves a 2-0 lead. In terms of weapon placement, of course, the talk is down at the bottom side of the map here. We'll see potentially that could turn the tide for Epsilon. As we take a look at Explosives POV, already the kills. I mean, this is a slaughter at the B hill. 4 players go down. That's going to leave Sam by himself. But again, Optic Gaming, they're going to get these kills. And look at how quick they are to rotate. No hesitation at all. And Sam is going to be left in basically a 1 versus 2. He's going to go down. And Optic Gaming are making a real statement here in this match. Best of Europe, it doesn't matter. They're the best in the world as it stands. And they're desperately trying to apply that pressure once again at the A hill. Go for the trip cap. It's just kills galore. Epsilon not able to find any footing in this game so far. Optic Gaming 3-0 up.
That's probably the most convincing round I've seen yet in Gears Esports. I have to admit, that was really impressive from Optic Gaming there. Epsilon, did they get a kill that round?
I think they got 1.
1?
I think.
Well, they of course put the torpedo down by that statue. They put the frag grenades down at Pistons, which, you know, at this point, Optic Gaming clearly winning the openers, and when you have 2 powerful weapons at the either side, it leaves Epsilon with not many choices, right? To try and, you know, avoid the shotgun miles, try and go for the angles and keep their distance. They're really stuck in a corner.
But this is the problem. This is what we've seen throughout the year, I think it's fair to say, is how do teams react? When Optic Gaming have momentum, what do you do? Right now, there isn't a clear-cut solution to that question. There is no, oh, you put drop shot down, or no, you know, you use shot grenades, you stop them, you slow them down from winning that B fight. There is no clear-cut answer yet, and I feel that's what teams are still trying to figure out, and Optic have been very, very good at kind of keeping their strategies hidden for the most part. And really coming out, but it basically just comes down to winning your gunfights, I feel. And that's something that Epsilon right now are just not able to do. You just see how quick Kenny is to wrap. He's already going to be on that C hill. You're pinching in Epsilon on their home street. And I mean, this is a stupidly quick trip cap. If this comes in, this is a 20-second round. C and B are under their control. A has been taken by Epsilon. They were forced to go into Optic Gaming's base. Meanwhile, Kenny, he's trying to cause a ruckus over Epsilon's home hill. But finally, Epsilon do get that footing back at C.
Yeah, they hold on for just a second. They got the A hill. Of course, that's been recovered by Lava, and they went to the C hill as a response. Right now, Optic Gaming again leading in the kills. You see the kill feed every second. It seems like Optic Gaming get a kill. But meanwhile, Hydra and Craze putting that to rest. They pick up the 2 kills at B. Perhaps a little capture coming in for them there as they start to get hold on for the first time of this map. But it's not looking good.
I mean, bear in mind at this point, we are at 16-second respawn, so those kills are really, really going to help Epsilon get that footing and get a little bit more map control. You have B and C. Now can you try and make the play for A? That is going to be the question. You're going to need to at least slay another wave of kills here before you can even think about going into Optic Gaming's base. But as for Craze, just doing a good job of delaying that push. The smoke grenades come out. He's going to find someone's right in front of him. That's going to be 1. Nicely done. They need to be aggressive, though, and try and get these kills in quick succession. Otherwise, those players off spawn, it's just going to be a chain if you go for that trip cap. You need to make sure you get those downs very, very fast.
Yeah, no doubt. Phelpsy picking up a kill on Mental, and here comes Explosive in a 2v1. Phelpsy's going to dispatch him as well. It's looking good actually for Epsilon. I mean, both of these teams, no doubt, Benson, like to lead the pace of the game.
Absolutely.
You cannot let Optic Gaming, no matter who you are, lead the pace of the game in terms of the kills and whatnot. And finally, Epsilon starting to get those kills on the board, starting to provide that brick wall at B, which they've been known for. Meanwhile, Kenny picking up that torpo. They're going to be coming off respawn with some power weapons to their name. But Epsilon just getting a bit of a score lead here, holding on to B and C, just about being broken there.
As you said, really the first lead we've seen for Epsilon throughout this map. Now the question, how do they play it? Do they sit back, absorb the pressure from Optic Gaming? Are they happy to play with a BC Hill advantage? Is anyone going to overextend and potentially put pressure on A? Force Optic Gaming on the back foot, something they're just not familiar with. When you're a team that is so used to winning, all of a sudden when your back's against the wall, sometimes you see teams kind of react negatively almost. But as it stands, Kenny still doing a good job of just patrolling this statue area. He knows that he could apply the pressure over towards C, but doesn't really have the team support to maybe go for this just yet, but he's feeling confident. He's going to go for it, and well, that's an instant.
Yeah, big kill right there, and of course Epsilon 190 goes in on that 210 score limit, so the ball is in their court. Ash is just going to get double off screen as well to just add to that fire. Mental, he hasn't got many options. He's going to have to push in. Even the A-Hill is going for the triple cap. This will surely be an Epsilon round at this point. Phelpsy, go! He's going to get taken out by the man of Optic Gaming, but nonetheless, Epsilon do get their first round on the board, and it was a good round as well.
And I love that too. Too many times you see teams, when they're potentially about to win, they kind of say, all right, park the bus, boys. We're sitting in the back. We're making sure we hold one. Epsilon, no, they don't do that. They will push the opposition home hill to just seriously apply even more back pressure. That, to be fair, is a big sign of confidence.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the EU teams definitely go for those away hills when they know they're going to win on points from the other team. It's just smart play, right? It's just reacting, being proactive to the scenario. They know what's going to go on, and it's being used there against perhaps the top team in the world. So yeah, very good round from Epsilon there. They started off on the back foot. They've proven they can come back during these difficult scenarios.
Traditionally, is Epsilon a team who kind of prefer the longer respawns, or are they a team that love the shorter respawns? How has been their playstyle in Europe?
You know, it's been quite mixed. I can't really put my finger on that. Okay. Right now, Epsilon leads so much in the slaying department that they're always getting those setups, right? All those triple caps. They always, like I said, lead the pace of the game. And this is why Optic Gaming is an especially difficult enemy for them, because they're not used to it, right? They're not used to having shotguns being put in their face, you know? And so that last round for me, Ben, is crucial, right? Epsilon have proven, all right, we've just lost 3 rounds to Optic Gaming, but we can lose the opener, but still come back and win on score quite convincingly.
And honestly, I think this round as well is super important too, because it's going to give them a little bit of momentum now, saying, all right, you know, we're not down. This is a close game. We can potentially tie this at the half 3-3, go into the second half, and have a new slate, essentially, as the sides will, of course, flip. And as it stands, it is Epsilon who have control of A and B, so despite going down early in the series, they're definitely not out just yet as they start to build themselves a lead. And again, there's respawn delays. We're at 18 seconds right now, so these kills Epsilon are able to pick up are going to be absolutely massive if they want to try and win this round.
Yeah, Epsilon really turtling up at the B hill now. They've got a bit of a score lead, but here come the counter-offensive from Optic. They're not letting them sit comfortable down there for too long as Kenny B picks the kill on Ash. Hydron answers back with the kill of his own. But of course, the numbers advantage comes in for Optic in the end. We've got a Wildman Cray is going to get taken down as well, and surely that's going to be a B capture for Optic. Maybe a score comeback very soon. 3 members down for Epsilon, make that 4 actually as we bring up the heads-up display. Phelpsy getting taken down there. Sam, the anchor for Epsilon, forced to come all the way back to A, but Optic not letting Epsilon stay comfortable for that long.
And Sam is in a really tough situation because you can see he wants to try and overextend towards C, put that pressure on, but as well, he needs to buy time for his teammates off spawn. He can't necessarily just make such a reckless play like that without having that team support and potentially a little bit of backup, and you can kind of see Explosive just lingering around that mid-map, ready and waiting to pounce if that overextension did come through. It hasn't, and this is now where you're going to see Optic play for those kills, and if they pick them up successfully, immediately go for that trip cap and end it.
But of course, they were picking up those incendiaries during those respawns. Instead of going for that triple cap, there's a torpo as well, picked up 3 kills, 4 kills, make it. Oh my, Optic Gaming. And they've got retros, they've got torpos. Their arsenal is good. They're going to be looking, even Summons is in the Epsilon spawn right now. They're not messing about. This should be a triple cap.
He's like, bruh.
You're just waiting to spawn. Where are you, Epsilon? You're not here.
The ultimate disrespect. He's like, you're not even spawning, boys. You're not even here. Where are you guys? Oh, you're all dead? That's a shame, isn't it? Optic Gaming, 4-1 up. And I mean, you look at their kind of facial expressions and just kind of business as usual, really, for them. And it's interesting. It really is kind of seeing that they're coming in here with kind of that same intensity they would. You kind of heard Lava saying it's important they don't lose. Of course, pool play kind of new to Gears of War from what I've been speaking to a lot of the players saying, hey, we're not really used to this. And I was kind of stressing the importance. It's like you need to make sure you win your first 2 games. You want to be able to come in on Saturday with a 2-0 comfort, knowing that you're playing an open bracket team. It can kind of act, for the most part, as a little bit of a warm-up for your championship games.
And of course, just to highlight once more, E6 have lost to both of these teams.
You just had to throw them under the bus, didn't you?
Yeah, that's just bring them up, yeah. Okay. It's just going to be biased to Epsilon again, shall we? Nah. Both teams, of course, battling for the first seed now, but Optic Gaming with a good lead as we're on board with Ash once again. But this is the thing, right? There's always a smoke, but he's full red straight off the bat. It just shows how much pressure Optic can apply, even at distance when you can't see them. But Incendiary's been picked up from Kenny B, meanwhile looking for that pick on Phelpsy, but it's not going to work out for him. Bit of a shotgun battle going on here as Phelpsy has the damage lead. Yeah. Oh, the sneaky lava just appeared on my screen there, but
what's really interesting to me is Epsilon are winning those engagements, getting control of the B hill. That's a third round in a row where they've actually been able to do that. Admittedly, Optic Gaming immediately took it back 3 rounds ago and were able to go for a trip cap. But the past 2 rounds, Epsilon have been applying the pressure, and you actually see it coming in here in Optic Gaming's home hill. If Summons isn't careful here, they could actually lose this round of 4-2 at the half, but Summons with a little bit of support. In fact, the support doesn't matter. Lava's going to go down. It's Hydro trying to pick it up, but Explo and Summons come in and act as cleanup crew. There's Kenny with a pick of his own, and immediately Epsilon running away with their tails between the legs. It's going to be Craze desperately trying to find some support and some cover, but the support isn't going to come in just yet. Of course, we're at 20-second respawn, but Craze does shut down Kenny B. Can he now keep Epsilon in the game? That's going to be the question. He's full red, desperately trying to find a pick over towards C. Will be able to get it neutral once again, and he does so. Craze, nicely played, cleans up Summons, but I don't think it is going to be enough. Mental with a couple of plays off Swarm for Epsilon. In actual fact, may have just been a big enough play for Epsilon.
Yeah, Craze just done enough there to force Mental off and play for the setup instead, and not just getting lives in that 3v1 scenario, but Optic Gaming have done it once before. They might do it again. If Hydra can be taken down here, maybe a Torpo is up for grabs for that power weapon player. Mental, so good with that sniper. I think he's going to pick up the Torpo as well. Hydra maybe like baited that for a second, but he's going to run back and not be able to stop him from running away with that weapon. Of course, Optic starting to get that score lead now. Explosive getting the kill. Was that a stick? No. But Hydron is going to pick up the incendiaries. Meanwhile, that Mental just ran away last second.
And the one thing I love about watching Mental play is how controlled he is. Like, for example, you saw him pushing that C-hill. You recognize immediately, okay, they're off spawn, I'm out here. Too many times you see players in these high second respawns get a little bit caught out, they fall, and that's when you start to see counters come through. And you know, we talk about teams making mistakes, but in Optic Gaming's case, it's very much, they don't make that many mistakes, and it's so hard to capitalize. But what Epsilon have done well so far is when they've recognized a small mistake has come through, they capitalize on it immediately. But now you're getting into that zone where, you know, you look at Optic Gaming's lead, 166 to 138, that double cap isn't gonna do it. You're gonna need to go for the trip cap, and that's what's coming through. Mental now has to spring into action here at the B hill, and at least buy his teammates a little bit of time. The lead, as it stands, at around about 20 points, but Epsilon do have 2-to-1 hill advantage. They're gonna at least need to neutralize A for around about 5 to 6 seconds here if they want to have a chance of winning this on a 2-to-1, or at least go for the trip cap. The kills being traded left and right down there towards that B hill. Lava just rolls in now. That's an easy double. He's going to get control of B and potentially give Optic Gaming this round.
Yeah, if the A and B setup can come in for Optic Gaming now, they should win on score via score. And here we go, Phelpsy coming off respawn. This is the last big push, and they need it. B hill is going to be broken for just a second, but still Optic Gaming look to be in the lead. And you know, we were on board with Mental for a lot of that time, right? And it has gone Optic Gaming's way, but Mental dancing around that whole time, just a nuisance, complete nuisance, not allowing Epsilon to set up, despite there being 2 points, three players around him, but just dancing around, not receiving much damage. It really shows how good Optic Gaming in pretty much any scenario.
And I think one of the big things to note is the way they use their smoke grenades as well. As that fantastic cover. They kind of force Epsilon into unfavorable gunfights, and as soon as they're in those unfavorable gunfights, you're like, well, you're basically gonna die. There's not much you can do. But going into the half, it's a 5-1 lead for Optic Gaming. I mean, #1 team in North America versus the #1 team in Europe. As it stands, seems like North America may be king in this one. However, going into the second half, of course, the map will be flipped. We now have our D, E, and F hill, our E hill being our neutral mid.
Well, hopping on board with Summons now. The E hill is still up for grabs. Lava is on hand. As you can see, Kenny B and Explosive opening things up on the kill on the street just above that B hill. Ash all in his own at the statue. He's surely going to just get angled out. He will drop to his knees, and Optic Gaming surely will take control of E. And they're already applying the pressure as we saw Explosive getting the angle onto the D hill. Phelpsy running for his life, trying to find a kill, and they need to do it quick, of course, Ben, because he's just going to get pinched in the back. They're all full red. Phelpsy done really well to get a kill. He's going to drop, though. Hydron going huge, though, getting that kill and the revive. Surely Craze can get up now. Epsilon still in this game.
Yep, still in it for now, but what's crazy is just how quickly Optic Gaming were up in Epsilon's home hill.
Yeah.
They did not waste any time. They only just got E, and next thing you know, the trip cap domination was coming in. But as you mentioned, Epsilon do a fantastic job of just defending, but now you have to win those gunfights once again. They went to try and play for home street advantage. They wanted to get Optic Gaming's hill, and that's exactly what they're doing. F now completely neutral, but can they defend the wave of Optic Gaming players on their own hill? That's going to be the question, because the F hill has been defended by Optic Gaming. Those players coming off respawn, of course, so easy for them to just drop back to that hill and regain control. As it stands, it's going to be around about 100 points to 62 in favor of the green wall.
Very good job, actually, from Epsilon, staying in that round there.
Yep.
They tried to be proactive. They went for the away hill, but they also held on to their home hill in the process. And already, the Epsilon team are rotating, this time to E. They've gone to pretty much every hill in the last 1 minute. They're trying to stretch Optic Gaming. It's difficult, admittedly, and Optic Gaming are responding, but Epsilon are giving it their all. But look at that. What can you do when Mental just picked up a double kill, bouncing into the Epsilon shotguns? It is going to be 4 members down. Sam is 3-point, as we see on the heads-up display. He's on the D hill, though, right now, and it's not a good place. Of course, those angles and the pushes can come in very soon. But right now, it looks like Optic Gaming are just going to sit pretty, keep their distance. They have got a big score lead.
Right.
And of course, with that respawn timer being at the lowest point, of course, 10 seconds as we went into the second half, setting up is a wise decision.
Yeah, they recognize they didn't really have enough map control to push for that trip cap just yet. Now, though, you'll see they've gotten those kills basically in Epsilon's base, so that is going to give them license to apply the pressure over towards D. Lava's probably going to turn around and pop one. That was Ash. Can he find the second? Looks pretty good, has the teammate support. Craze will defend it, but it doesn't matter too much. Optic Gaming with yet another trip cap.
And I spotted a little bit of a teabag. Did you spot that, Ben?
Hey, man. Sometimes you just got to let them know.
No.
You just got to let them know.
What's quite funny is they actually teabagged and then went for the triple cap. It's like, we go all the time in the world. It might be 10-second respawn, but we're just going to run up across your spawn straight afterwards.
Right. Why not, right? And you see Epsilon having a good hard think here. What do we do? I mean, Toby, what do you do if you're Epsilon at this point?
Oh, you know, I usually have answers to these type of questions, but right now I'm mind-boggled. I mean,
I feel like you need to put just something. Give yourself, I mean, let's be honest. You're 6-1 down, right? Likelihood of you winning this map, probably not pretty high.
Yeah.
So make it random. Make it as random as you possibly can. Put a boom shot the other side of the map. Force Optic Gaming players to go somewhere. Maybe use it as a little bit of bait. Get some early map control as the respawns get a little higher. Just try something. This is a time where you may as well try something, because odds are if you keep playing heads up, you're going to keep losing.
No, we don't see much of the drop shot, actually. We don't see much of the drop shot. Maybe that could be something, you know, these teams where they...
But is that going to be enough to bait out Optic Gaming to play for it? That's the question. Well, if you're Optic Gaming, it's like, well, what kind of things do you want to play for? Sniper rifle, you've seen Mental go off with that. Maybe you could try and bait with that.
That's true, yeah.
Boom shot, definitely, you know, they're going to have to play for that. His drop shot, really, do you think that's something Optic would bite at?
Well, this is the thing, right? If it's a boom shot, I think Optic Gaming would go really heavy in numbers. Most teams would. It's just the drop shot. It can be really powerful in the right hands.
Definitely.
I think Epsilon, the raw skill, the power weapon players that they have on their team can utilize that very effectively. But it's kind of surprises, right? Epsilon and these teams, whoever go up against Optic Gaming, they need to do the research. But will it be enough even then? Who knows? There's a lot of questions to be asked. It's looking bleak. I'll give it that. But right now, let's hop back.
Bleak is definitely an interesting term to use for this, because probably not the word I would have gone with. As it stands, Optic Gaming, of course, 83 to 63 point lead. They do currently control the neutral hill, but Epsilon once again playing for that home street, and this time it looks as if maybe they may be able to get it. D and F under their control. Now can they pounce on E as well? They're gonna need to get the kills, because in come Optic Gaming off respawn. That's a big double for Sam. Craze is gonna find one as well, and that should be that. Epsilon find their second round. No way. Someone's broken it over to D. Summons the man, the myth, the legend. Can he get it done? It looks good to potentially bring up the kill. Goes for the meat shield. And just like that, when Optic need a player to clutch up, they get the clutch.
Yeah, they have it there, and already see the D hill now got in the way of Optic Gaming. You just need one player, as you said, Ben. And already the Optic Gaming members have respawned. We got Ash and Craze both picking up kills, but Optic Gaming still hanging in there. But of course, Epsilon have that score lead.
They do.
Yeah, quite small.
Hey, lead is a lead, right?
Of course, they've won rounds with the score lead already. They won one round. And they do it again?
Rounds, plural, really?
Round, yeah. But yeah.
I mean, it's a 40-point lead. At this point, you know, you still do need to hold 2-1. You can't necessarily just play back for a one-hill advantage. Problem is that the pressure from the green wall is being applied over towards E, and this is why I'd love to see someone from Epsilon say, hey, all right, pressure on E, I'm going to rotate to D. You know you're basically going to have a 1v1. If you head down towards bottom pistons and back up towards that D hill, you can really start to force up the gaming to think about what you're going to do. It basically becomes a game of chess at that point.
Yeah, I mean, Foundation has like 4 lanes, essentially, and a lot of flanking routes. So if there is one map that you can kind of surprise players in terms of your positioning, the flanks. Foundation is certainly this map, rather than say Reclaimed, where it's a lot more setup heavy, in my opinion.
This is looking good for Epsilon.
This is looking good, right? I was about to say, Sam very good. Kills at E, 190 the score limit. All they need to hold out now for is 20 seconds. But switching our camera to Mental, he's got a good shot on Ash, and he's going to finalize that kill with the last unforgiving shotgun pellets.
I love this play. I love this play, by the way. They recognize it's 205, and you saw Mental just kind of say, hey, I've slayed out E. I'm going to kind of leave that. I'm going to see if I can apply the pressure on F. Unfortunately, they didn't have the team support. That would have been such a sick play. If he was able to get to F in time, leaving E neutral, recognizing he didn't have time to cap it and then rotate as well, that could have been a very, very epic play. But unfortunately for Optic Gaming, it is going to be Epsilon picking up their second round here. Potential comeback on the cards.
Now, my question to Mental is, what weapon is he going to go with? Please go with the snipes.
I want to see him style with the sniper rifle. Please, dear God. We saw it in Fight Night, and it was one of the most epic things ever. I'm so excited.
Okay, so Crazed to Mental, please engage in a 1v1 snipe across that.
Just everyone else stay in spawn.
Yeah, please.
Okay, everyone else stay in spawn. Let them two grab the sniper rifle, 1v1. Whoever gets the first goal wins a round.
I would be content with that. Let's change the rules right here and now.
I don't think we have the power to do that, Toby. Yeah, but we will see the sniper rifles for sure. It's going to be Mental and Sam.
Oh, Sam.
Sniper rifle. Okay.
Well, there we go. It's a nice insight into the Epsilon mind, right? Crazed is definitely the best sniper on that team, no doubt, no question about that. But they're going to give it to the anchor player, right? They're going to give it to Sam, who's sitting on that spot. So they're sticking with their team strategy, their opener instead. I mean, Benson, do you agree with that?
I mean, but you're trying to outsnipe Mental. You need your best player to outsnipe Mental. You really do. Mental is no joke when he has this in his hands. Well, yeah, that's kind of what happens right there. Ash is going to fall. Mental looking for two. Not going to connect with that one. And will he be able to get the reload and get out? He's just trying to bounce around. Please don't. No. Not like that. Oh, that would have been absolutely just sick. But unfortunately, does not get the kill. It's going to be Phelpsy that cleans up Mental. And now Epsilon, once again, applying the pressure. He and E-Hill in their advantage. They still do have the sniper rifle in, I believe it was Ash's control as well. So they could potentially use that to defend that. Sam's control. Could potentially use that one to kind of control that home hill. Doesn't seem as if Sam wants to be too aggressive with it. Bear in mind, you're going to have Optic Gaming players running at you here, so it's going to be pretty tough to win those up close personal fights.
Indeed, and of course, Craze actually, see Phelpsy had a sniper down in front of him, but he didn't pick it up, right? He went around the flank, got the kills instead, and he's done a good job, and you already see him on the kill feed off screen, get the kill on Explosive, but Mental taking him out. And you see, as we referred to, Sam sitting back, playing it safe, not giving Optic any chances, but right now...
Is it too passive, though, when you're going against Optic Gaming?
I think any surprise you can get, any aggressiveness that is safer. You know, obviously Optic Gaming are pushing the statue right now. Maybe if Sam applied a little bit of pressure, it might work in that favor.
Put pressure on that F-hill, right?
Yeah.
Pull out the shotgun. You got to feel confident with your shotgun. Of course, Kenny has picked up the sniper rifle off spawn, so you may see that bout happen over towards that home hill. As it stands, though, it is Optic Gaming that have controlled the E-hill, so they're going to start chipping away that fragile Epsilon lead. And Kenny, man, you should have given the sniper rifle to Mental.
Well, if we change the camera very soon over to that spawn hill, Phelpsy actually getting the kill. Of course, that former spawn hill, back in the first half. But Kenny B on your screen still with that newly respawned sniper, and this is the difficult point.
This is honestly looking good for Epsilon.
Exactly.
I don't want to jinx it, but this is actually looking very, very good. They're playing a significantly more structured game style than we saw in the first half, and it's almost as if Optic, their slaying pace has slowed down a little bit now.
Definitely. And you already see Hydra taking that bit of map control that Street provides. Explosive trying to take that away from it in an instant. You see on the left of your screen as well as the names go through the smoke. Optic Gaming pushing through the statue. Phelpsy going to meet Anasha from Explosive there. And already Optic Gaming, they lost control of E, but already at the click of a finger regained it.
And that's what's so scary now. If you're Ash and the boys, you need to immediately react to. You cannot allow Optic Gaming to get control of your own spawn. Of course, now they're just one round away from picking up map number 1. So backs really are against the wall, and they're about to take the lead as well. Look at that score, 188 to 188. Tied game. Optic Gaming about to take the lead, but the pressure has come in on Optic Gaming's home hill. A 2-cap here would be enough for Epsilon, but Optic immediately try and react. They're flooding over towards the D hill. They need to win these gunfights, and just like that, Ash will go down. It's Kenny who cleans him up, and Kenny looking to do more damage from distance. Hydra, and he's picked up the sniper rifle. 207 to 209. It is going to go in the way of Epsilon but by God, that was a close one.
That was a nail biter, wasn't it, Ben? Last 10, maybe 20 seconds. Optic Gaming's hands were forced.
Yeah.
It was Epsilon who forced them to run at the Epsilon home hill. It was the closest one to it, and it's a very good round actually from Epsilon there. So close in the end, Optic Gaming regained B, but Epsilon's response, I believe it was Sam actually perhaps, playing aggressive on the away hill for that first time that we were discussing earlier, and doing it at the right point to secure that round.
What's scary is, though, can you do that consistently now? You've found a winning solution. You know, you've won 2 rounds in a row now, and it's looking pretty good. You're playing very controlled, very structured. You have the sniper rifle, which worked out pretty well for them. No flashy plays, no aggressive plays, solid defensive plays, and I think that was key there for their success. But can you replicate it? And this is something that Optic Gaming have been so good at this year, is adjusting. When they recognize someone's kind of onto them, they change up their playstyle completely. So for me, this is now where, for Epsilon's point of view, hey, how do we make sure that Optic don't kind of change their gameplay too much where they can retake control of the series?
Yeah, no doubt. Optic Gaming, as well as being perhaps the best slayers in the game, also the most flexible team, and that is why perhaps they are the top team still since Ultimate Edition in the world. But here we go. Hydra and Crazed opening things up with 2 kills.
This comeback. 6-1 comeback?
Of course. Phelpsy getting the kill on Mental as well. That's 3 members down for Optic. Make that 4.
This is where they have to go. This is literally where you have to flood Optic Gaming spawn. You cannot be afraid here. You need to put Kenny under all sorts of pressure. And Kenny, now the last man alive for Optic Gaming. This is the problem you have. He's able to clean up Sam. Can he find the second as well? It's going to be Hydra pushing in. A 1v1, and Hydra will win it. But unfortunately, those Optic Gaming players are off spawn, and potentially Epsilon then missed a little bit of an opportunity. Of course, respawn delay at this point is getting pretty high. We're at 16 seconds as it stands.
Got to give it to Epsilon, though, especially Hydra, and as he realized that triple cap was not happening, he got out with his life and went straight back to he knew Optic Gaming were going to turn their reinforcements to that direction. But it is Ash right in front of Explosive as the Optic Gamer and Epsilon, 3 members of each team, I believe, lined up almost like a mirror on this E hill, and it's going to be a big one. Phelps, he's got the incendiaries. Oh, that was quite close, actually, to Explosive. But here comes Mental as he's, whoa, Phelps is down in a second, actually, but Hydrant does respond, take out lava. The foot of that push. Right now, Mental is just going to be sitting right back. Oh, here comes a flank from Summons, though, as he gets taken out by Craze. It's anyone's E-Hill right now, but still, Epsilon holding on by the skin of their teeth. And Mental, once again, dancing around. But is it going to be enough to find cover? No, it's not. Medic coming in for Explosive. Did you notice that, Ben? He got the shotgun kill and the revival. Star plays coming out from Explosive there.
Such clutch plays. Currently sitting with 22 kills to his name. He's trying to dance around the E-Hill. Bear in mind, though, whilst all this has been going on, Epsilon have developed a rather large lead. As it stands, around about 40 points. The question is, though, as Phelpsy comes in, a massive double from him just to try and defend that E-Hill with everything Epsilon have. This is a very, very sizable lead for Epsilon now. This is one of those leads you cannot throw away. You need to close out this round and potentially take it to 6-4.
Yeah, I feel this is too close right now. You can't rely on Phelpsy to dance around this statue any longer. Hydra's going to take out Kenny finally. Epsilon start to...
Now just don't choke.
To set up, right? This 180, 140 difference. Optic can come back, right?
They can.
Epsilon
this isn't over.
This isn't over, no doubt.
This next wave of kills is vital. They're able to kill Explosive, and I believe Mental is behind Explosive as well. Oh, you can't allow him to just walk into the hill like that, because this is where you expect some pressure to potentially come over towards F. This could get very, very close towards the end of this one. Epsilon doing such a good job of hanging on. All they need is the F hill. They will keep E as well. And Epsilon giving us a game here for the final matchup of the night. It looked like it was going to be smooth sailing for the Green Wall as they went up at the first half, 5 rounds to 1. But the sides have flipped, and all of a sudden, Epsilon's shown us that they still have some game in them.
3 rounds in a row, Ben. Momentum is going towards EU right now. And even Explosive with those amazing shotgun skills in action at the end. He couldn't take out the 3rd player of Epsilon. They'd done just enough to ensure they got that victory there, which really showed in that last instance. And
again, I'm absolutely loving the structured game style we're seeing from Epsilon. They're not allowing Optic to dictate the pace. That is key. They're basically coming out saying, hey, you want to fight us, that's fair enough. We're going to set up how we're used to setting up, and that's something which is so key. Too many teams change the way they play. They're forced to play around Optic Gaming. Epsilon right now, they're playing their own game.
Well, Craze has been forced to run after a wild lava. He picks up the nades in front of his, under his nose, and someone's going to punish him for that. Ash going to kill him. Someone's, was that a snipe? No, it's a shotgun right in front of him. He's going to find that kill, but can he find more? He's got damage. Very good push from Ash. He works with his team with that Lancer damage, and the nades were thrown out by Optic Gaming.
Ash, that is a huge play coming in from Ash. That's 3 kills when it looked like Optic Gaming had the momentum and they had the numbers, and immediately feeling confident, wants to get up and close and personal on Optic Gaming's hill. That's going to be the F hill, of course. E is still neutral. This is a big win for Kenny if he's able to get it. He will do as well. Mental able to clean up Sam. So despite the F hill being completely neutral, it is still Epsilon, the only team currently getting points. But bear in mind, you expect those Optic Gaming players to just come back and immediately get control of that home hill and then flood the E hill, which is exactly what is happening.
Yeah, and you see Mental on your screen with that sniper, and you've got Kenny B collecting the sentries as well as the E-Hill goes Optic Gaming's way. Just as we saw Epsilon regaining that E-Hill at the very start and getting the kills on the board, Optic Gaming respond very, very quickly.
And this is what's going to be tough. The last 3 rounds, Epsilon have controlled the pace. They had D&E comfortably. They were never really forced to break Optic Gaming setup. You go back to the first 5-6 rounds of the game, it was Optic who had the control, and Epsilon were not able to find answers. Now, though, with Optic Gaming, with E and F, can Epsilon fight back? Those kills are going to be so crucial. 18-second respawn delay at this point. Every kill is massive as Ash gets up close and personal. Mental shuts him down. Explosive, though, able to respond with a pick on Phelpsy. This one going all the way down to the wire. Potential trip cap gets knocked on the door from Optic Gaming, but E will be taken by Epsilon. Now, how do they react? Will they wrap back towards their home hill, or do they put pressure up close in Optic Gaming's place?
I believe Epsilon have a 2v1 here for a second, but Ash is going to fall, and you see Lava pushing up with that sniper on the D hill. Can he get a sneaky headshot? He can get a body check on Hydra. Is it going to be a 1v1? No, it's going to be a 2v1. Someone's knocked down. It's going to be a strict 2v1 as Lava's getting shot in the back. Triple cap coming up on our screen for a second. Here comes Phelpsy, though. Can he save the round once again with his shotgun kills? He gets one. Sam gets off respawn to get the kill. They're holding on for a second right now, Ben, but Optic Gaming so close, applying that pressure to the D-Hill.
I think someone as well from Epsilon may have just overextended as well throughout all of this commotion. I'm pretty sure we may see it come in on our screens shortly. I don't, maybe potentially actually fell there, but doesn't matter for now. Epsilon have survived, but at this point, they need to find answers. A 2-to-1 hill advantage is not going to be enough. They need to triple cap Optic Gaming, and believe me, that is no easy feat.
This is the test. 180 score. Epsilon pushing up onto the F hill, and this Cray is going to open things up with a headshot on Lava. That is the team sniper down.
Good start.
For Optic Gaming, yet very good start. But as you said, they probably need a triple cap right now.
Oh, they definitely need it.
They need a triple cap. They might get it.
I can't believe it. Kenny, he has to try and charge the E hill. It's completely neutral. As it says, Optic Gaming not getting any points, but that is not going to be long enough for Epsilon to turn the tides of this game. The kills did come through. Epsilon, they need to push that E hill. They're losing D as well. This is not looking good for the European squad.
No, I think there's too many hills to manage at this point as Optic Gaming really stretched them thin across all sides. 206, 207, that is going to wrap the first map up, and I believe that is the most difficult map for Optic Gaming for the tournament thus far.
Actually, I think that's right.
It's true. In terms of rounds,
that is right. In terms of rounds, it's the closest they've been
for sure.
Really pushed. A 7-4 victory for Optic Gaming. Let's not forget how that started, though. It was a 5-1 demolition in the first half, and I have to ask you, was that potentially nerves from Epsilon? You're sat on a big stage, North American territory against the best team in the world. You got the cameras, the lights, the trophies right in front of you. Was that something that maybe they felt a little bit of nerves going into that one? Because that was a very slow start. And you saw how they played in the second half. That looked like a completely different Epsilon team.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's their first LAN event, of course, for Gears 4. And the first LAN event against an American team and Optic Gaming. On the main stage
teams, right, yeah.
of this huge main stage, as you said, Ben, is definitely nerves have to come into it. But they seem calm and collected right now. There's the trophy on your screen, and that looks pretty heavy, Ben.
Trust me, I actually tried lifting it up. It's very heavy, I'm not gonna lie. But you know, just to kind of dissect that game a little bit more, you look at that second half, it was actually won by Epsilon in terms of rounds. They won it 3-2, so I feel like they kind of settled down a little bit, and especially that second half, you really saw their play style. Now, for me, you look at the second map, Epsilon have to dictate the pace immediately. You cannot allow Optic Gaming to get into that rhythm again, because if they do, that's when it becomes very scary and it looks as if you're going to potentially lose to it.
Yeah, I mean, if Epsilon got any more rounds in the first half, it might be a little bit different, you know?
Absolutely.
You know, if they had one more round.
You start a little strong, you don't allow Optic to win the first 3 rounds. And bear in mind, we're talking 10-second respawn, Optic trip cap the first 3 rounds. They made it look easy. And that's where you saw Epsilon just a little bit kind of back and forth, looks a little skitty, if you will. Yeah. But the second half, completely different story. They played their own play style. They just kind of dictated the pace a little more. And that's where you saw Optic struggle a little bit. So for me, we're heading over to map number 2. It's going to be reclaimed. Does this one favor Epsilon? This is their map pick. They have picked this one. Is it something that's specific? You have a little bit of a grin, like a little twinkle in your eye came through, like potentially we could go to a game 3 here. How good is Epsilon on Reclaimed?
Well, this is the thing, right? I think Reclaimed there's a lot less options in terms of strategy, right? There's the main battle up top, and we've seen that the shotgun plays of Epsilon, the shotgun ability is there.
It's definitely
okay. It can match up the game, in my opinion, in many situations.
I think the 1v1s it can. I think when it gets scrappy and there's like 3v3, 4v4s, and the trades come through.
I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree. disagree with that, but this is Epsilon's admittedly favorite map. It's definitely their map pick. They're going against Optic Gaming right now. They proved in the last half that they can bang with the best in terms of those.
They can. I'm not gonna lie. In the first half, I kind of looked at you. I was like, bro, really? Like, come on, man, really? Yeah. This is what we're bringing to the table here from Europe. But as you said, that second half, a fantastic display from the #1 seed from Europe. Can they now take the game to the #1 seed in North America, and arguably the best team in the game? As it stands, Epsilon find themselves 1-0 down here in this best-of-3 pool play game. We're going to be on board with Explosive. Of course, Optic Gaming now going to be our blue squad. Epsilon, our red.
Look how confident the Epsilon squad is. They're the first one into that hill, but here come the counter from Lava. He gets the kill. The Hydron picks up 2. This is looking good, and actually, Craze is going to get the 3rd, so definitely. Actually, Epsilon are going to win that B-Hill. They're going to win the opener, and this is what we talk about, right? The pace of the game is now being started. It's going to be controlled and managed from that EU team, and Mental sitting pretty at the bottom with not many options until his teammates respond.
And what was really interesting was that the way Epsilon set up, it wasn't easy for Optic Gaming to break. They really actually struggled trying to get past the kind of European wall, if you will. It was definitely no easy feat for them. So I really feel like those initial gunfights, we really have to stress just how important they are. I mean, we saw the importance in the first map. It seems as if it could continue here in map #2. It's Explosive on your screens for Optic Gaming, trying to bounce across over towards B, but Ash picking up a very simple double kill. Lava and Mental there to trade, but Phelpsy says, I don't think so. He walks in, that's a pick for him there on Lava, and again, there's trades being won by Epsilon. However, this is where it gets interesting now. Optic Gaming, they've rotated over towards Epsilon's home hill. That's going to force Epsilon to put a couple of resources back over towards there. Will that now open up the B hill for Optic Gaming to try and take?
Of course, that's a very good push from Mental, actually. We talked about being passive and maybe a little bit, in terms of the anchor play. Mental definitely played that very well, stretching the Epsilon team just for a second as they regain the hill. But meanwhile, Explosive and Co, as they come off respawn, are going to go straight up top for that battle, and it's a crucial one. Sam, though, battle of the anchors, who's going to win the shotgun battle. Mental's got full of raw skill. As we say that, the B-Hill battle is going to go on. Epsilon still holding on, Ben.
And the problem was when Mental went for that kind of neutralization on A and that home hill cap, he didn't have anyone applying the pressure up top towards the B-Hill. If you time that better when you have a couple of teammates putting the pressure up top B, you can kind of pull away from the home hill knowing that you're going to get control of B. Yeah. So you kind of break the opposition setup without them even realizing it at times, but Epsilon having absolutely none of it. Fantastic defense up top, and look at the lead they've generated as well. #1 team in Europe coming out strong here in map #2. Round #1, of course, currently at 182 to 142, a 40-point lead. At this point, they can just hold one hill, and they will win this round, as Kenny B just hits a drive-by, essentially, on Crazed. And he's already thinking about trying to go for the flank here on the B hill.
Oh, this could be a pinch, actually, for Optic Gaming. We see players on the opposite side. Ash is going to fall, I think. Yes, he will. He get taken out. Optic Gaming, very good push, actually, is the A-Hill. They broke for a second. Mental playing that safe. But, of course, Epsilon are going to win that round. You see how much it means to Phelps. He's going to high-five his team, or low-five, I should say. But either way, Ben, that was a very impressive round from the EU team. They really managed the pace. They held the map control very well.
That was
Explosive
perfect.
and Co, they tried everything they could, but Epsilon always getting those first kills and the last kills.
But again, you have to stress the importance of locking down that B-Hill if you're Epsilon. We haven't seen them really break Optic Gaming setup yet, but vice versa, we haven't really seen Optic Gaming break Epsilon setup. It really just comes down to who is going to get that control early on in the matchup. And Epsilon, that last round was picture perfect. I mean, if you ever wanted to kind of figure out how to play Reclaimed right there, I mean, just go sit down with a notepad and pen and take some notes, because Epsilon just taught you a lesson.
Epsilon's favorite map, and they definitely play heavy up top at all opportunities, and also heavy down bottom when it goes to the second half. So they're definitely going for the middle hill, the neutral hill, off the bat on each side. But here we go. Hydron is going to get downed in the B hill. He's going to capture it though. Meanwhile, there's the smokes clear for just a second. Lava put down that suppressive fire. Mental's going to take off Sam, though. That is the anchor kill right there. It's going to be crucial. But Phelpsy is on the flank. He's applying the pressure. But Optic Gaming, they're forced to push. They got 2 downs. Can they finalize them, though? Can they secure them? Still, Epsilon holding on for just a second as the kills start racking up. But it is going to be Epsilon somehow still holding on.
Again, they are able to out-trade Optic Gaming at that B hill. Of course, someone from Optic did overextend over towards the A hill. I believe it was Mental, just trying to be the thorn in Epsilon's side. And Epsilon off spawn, not able to actually cap that home hill quick enough as Mental now tries to turn the corner, runs into the shotgun of Phelpsy, and Epsilon with the setup locked in now. B and C under their control, but for how long will Optic Gaming find a way through? That is the question. Round 1 was pretty much just solid play from Epsilon, and they're doing the same thing again. They're just using the angles correctly, making sure they have sufficient numbers to trade, covering absolutely everywhere on the map, and picture perfect Gears of War right here from Epsilon.
Oh, explosive.
I say that.
Getting the double, bouncing around with that movement he's known for, reviving Lava, and here comes a 2v1 as a result, as he's bought his team this ticket. But look at this, Ash appears through the smoke, takes out explosive. Surely that is enough to hold on as his teammates come in, but I say that Optic Gaming do hold on in the end. It's not much of a score lead for Epsilon, but like a mental bouncing around as two members of Epsilon come at him, and Hydron, excuse me, great up A from him. Shot grenade picked Phelpsy, and the B hill already looking.
And one thing I want to point out was Ash was in a 1 versus 2 of B. He was able to pick up explosive, but he actually stayed alive. He was able to wrap out of the B hill, wait for his teammates to come back, and because of that, you're seeing that B hill now being taken by Epsilon. That was a fantastic play from him. Just a heads up, I need to play my life kind of moment, and boy, did he play that well.
Well, here comes another push from Optic Gaming. Epsilon, they have their right-hand advantage. Lancer's coming in the back. Phelpsy, we keep seeing him at the corner of the eye, getting that flank. It's not simply a shotgun battle, it's also a Lancer battle as Phelpsy gets that flank in. Lava just forced to try and Lancer spray. Very Gears 3-esque, but it will lead to the down and the death of Crazed. But still, look at this score lead. Castrides to the top left. Epsilon, once again, looking like they could take the score victory. It is going to be blinking red, actually, for a second, as the Epsilon triple cap blinked for a second. Hydro, they're going to get 2 kills. I can't speak, Vincent. This is so surprising to me. We've never seen Optic with their backs against the wall so convincingly as this.
And this is where it gets very, very interesting from the psychology kind of point of view, is when a team isn't used to that, when you're not used to being down and you're so used to winning, how do you react? That's where you see your championship caliber teams, the best teams in the world across any esport, react extremely well. And right now, this is the Epsilon show here in map number 2. They find themselves a 2-0 lead. Of course, let's not get too carried away here. It is obviously just the second round, but from what we've seen, I can't believe I'm saying this, Optic Gaming cannot break Epsilon's setup. They just have not found the answers yet. They've tried everything. They've tried overextending to the home hill. They've tried to kind of bait out. They've tried brute force straight up toward that B hill, but nothing is working. We've seen Ash get clutch 2 pieces. Clutch plays Hydron, clutch 2 pieces as well. Epsilon, they've come here to play.
No doubt. And as we bring up the overhead, snipers again, snipers are going to be the option for Optic Game to try and break that. And to be honest, they do need power weapons, in my opinion, to ensure that. Oh, he's found Phelpsy. They know exactly what's going on as Phelpsy gets the Lancer fire in the back. And I think that was the key, in all honesty, to differentiate Optic Gaming in those shotgun battles at B. That is going to be the play down. Mental already looking to be proactive. He's going to get the angle from Barn here on the backside of Epsilon. Oh, not going to hit the headshot though, just the neck. But is it enough damage? It seems like Lava picks up a kill on Ash, and Mental still being proactive down bottom. Lava picking up the double. What a well-executed opening strat from Optic Gaming.
Someone has to deal with Mental there. You cannot allow him to get just a perfect line of sight. You have to apply the pressure on him, kind of forcing him to make a hero play almost. Optic Gaming now, they do get control of B and C. This is the first time in map number 2 we've seen them get full control, and look at what happened as soon as they do. They immediately flip for the trip cap. Someone from Epsilon has overextended towards that C hill. Do bear that in mind. Kills coming in Epsilon's favor. A should be theirs. C as well. Now, if they're quick and they collapse on B, they could get a trip cap of their own. As Sam with the headshot on Kenny B. That's going to be the B hill wide open for now. Optic Gaming off Swarm will secure C, but Epsilon showing us that they can break Optic Gaming setup.
No, it was definitely a great response from Optic Gaming at the start, but here we are, Epsilon responding even better in my opinion, as they get a really easy B cap. In fact, it's not the difficult battle as Optic Gaming has had the last 2 rounds. And
kills Kenny, and he was just like, hey guys, by the way, there's no one on B. You may want to go up there and cap it.
I mean, Sam just highlighted him. He took out Mental despite him having that sniper rifle. He's been proactive in helping the B battle. And now already he's taken the position of what Mental did. Already getting the shot down, but I speak too soon. Someone's going to pick up sniper rifle and immediately take his head off his body. But here we go. Explosive is going to be Foray taken down. Phelpsy bouncing around. The movement. Oh, it's so good. It's so impressive.
What was that? That was absolutely nuts coming in there from Phelpsy. As he's able to find a very stylish kill. And Epsilon, you know, they should be able to cap A. They have not lost that B hill. You look at Optic Gaming's lead here. It is not big at all. And in actual fact, it could be a trip cap C hill. Oh no, Mental does clean up Phelpsy there, and he will keep that hill for Optic Gaming. You look at that A hill, you expect Epsilon plays off respawn to be able to get control. Now, can they defend another push of Optic Gaming at the B hill? That is going to be the question. Of course, sniper rifles are out, and I believe it's still in the hands of Sam, so they can definitely use that to their advantage. Of course, the shot grenades are there as well. Epsilon about to take the lead, but the pressure on B, is it too much to handle? Explosive and the boys of the green wall will be able to break it.
Yeah, they have the numbers advantage, and they're already snowballing that into more kills on the bottom of the left of the screen, that kill feed. Epsilon right now, 2 players back down on that wall, and Hydra, and he's trying to apply the pressure at the away hill, but he's going to get dropped immediately as Optic really, you know, when they were losing the battle up top, they were already breaking the A hill, right? Yep. They never let Epsilon run away with the score lead, always kept them with the backs against the wall, and now you already see them using that, abusing that, as Optic have the score lead. They have the BC setup, but they're already going for the A hill as well.
Yep, Mental playing it safe, just wants to make sure Optic Gaming does win this. We're not going to give away rounds like this, and that is going to be their first round here in map number 2. Of course, as it stands, Optic Gaming are 1-0 up here in the best of 3. They did win map number 1, 7 rounds to 4, but Epsilon in map number 2, they look the better side. They genuinely do. They've controlled the pace. A couple of mistakes kind of came in there towards the end. Optic kind of dictated the pace when it mattered most, and you saw them kind of turn that switch, if you will. But now, heading into round number 4, in terms of weapon placement, I mean, what do you do if you're Epsilon here?
You know, they've been winning this up top battle loads. Maybe apply some stimulus to that push up top, kind of force Optic Gaming to keep going up there. Right now, they're going to do the opposite, in fact, though, Ben. They're just going to place no weapon up top, which, you know, admittedly is quite confusing for me. I think
it's interesting, right? Because it's kind of saying, well, you know, we don't want you to apply more resources up top. We don't want you to come at us even harder. We want to make sure we keep it as it is. Because as you said, they are winning. They're winning those up top fights. They've been controlling B for the most part. But admittedly, the tradition is, hey, we're winning B. Let's give ourselves a goodie. Let's give ourselves a present as well when we do eventually win it. But, I mean, you know how vital and how efficient Optic Gaming can be. You give Optic Gaming a boom shot, I mean, well, that's where, you know, things can really spiral out of control. As it stands, of course, just the sniper rifles really coming into place so far that we've seen, of course, the shot grenades as well on your screen.
Oh, no.
And you cannot allow Mental to do this. You know he does this. He just did it last round. Please, for the love of God, shut this man down.
Mental already whisking away, but Sam, he's still thirsty for blood. Mental is going to just play it safe. And it seems like Optic Gaming are going to win the B battle, and someone's picked up a kill on Phelpsy. And once again, it seems like if Epsilon don't get in there first, they don't win the battle, Ben.
Exactly that. And the problem that they have, the reason they're not getting in there first is this man on your screen, Mental. The Epsilon have to realize what Mental is doing, and they have to put a stop to it. Someone just needs to kind of charge, essentially, at Mental and really shut him out, because that is the sole reason Optic Gaming is getting such good control up top.
It's an orchestrated strat, right? There's shot grenade already going to Epsilon side. They're trapped at the back. They can't push in. They're forced to just sit there as Mental pops the heads. And Sam maybe Sam needs to be a little bit more proactive, right? Just hunt down for Mental. Maybe perhaps I should have learned that earlier on in the last round. But
I mean, you think back to last map, the way Sam played with the sniper rifle was extremely passive. Yeah. Down his home hill. The difference is now Mental is being aggressive with the sniper rifle. He's being proactive. And if you're Sam, you have to respond. You have to be proactive as well. You cannot just sit there and be reactive, because it is not working. You are losing the initial gunfights at B. And again, to reiterate just how important these initial gunfights are, both teams finding it very difficult to break the setups of each other. Finally, though, as we say that Epsilon do spring into life, looking good to retake that B hill. Now, can they try and reduce this deficit, though? As it stands, it's going to be around about 30 points.
Yeah, they've taken out Explosive now. Surely can stretch their legs a little bit. Get a bit comfortable in the setup. Mental's been caught out. No Hydra was there. I don't think that's going to be sniped down for the Optic Gaming team. They have a little bit of a score lead, but Hydra being really aggressive. Actually, he's all the way. He punched by Kenny. Unlucky for him, I think, of back A being superior in that scenario than the hard aim. But Ash is going to find the revenge on Kenny. Sam now being proactive, as we discussed, Ben, pushing up, looking for that angle, but he has to play it safe. He has to make sure, all right, we've got the setup. They're having the team talk Epsilon. They want to sit back, play it safe, and not give any silly deaths away. Because Optic Gaming, if they're given a chance, they'll take it.
Yeah, normally in this situation, you would say, you know, push for a trip cap. You had a couple players down, but with how solid Epsilon's kind of defensive setup has been, why risk it, right? If Sam can get a pick, maybe then you're like, okay, overextend. Let's see if we can try and put that pressure on. Because you know, Optic Gaming at this point, they're going to start flooding toward that B hill. Because you look at the score, 180 to 177. If it stays like this, Optic Gaming will lose this round. Mental with a pick on Phelpsy, though. That's going to open up the C hill. And Kenny, more than happy to wrap straight over there. And this is where someone from Epsilon needs to react. Can they try and cap the A hill? That's going to be the question. No one has pushed. You look down, the kill's going back and forth. Optic Gaming, though, with A and C under control. Finally, the rotation comes through from Epsilon. But is it too late? It may well well. B, Hydron is going to be there, but he will drop as well. The B hill's being taken, and it just seemed there that the game spiraled out of Epsilon's control.
I mean, Optic Gaming, they didn't have many options, right, in terms of that pushing that B hill, so they had to run to the C hill. They had to turn that into just an absolute scramble of shotgun fights and hope they come out on top, and they did just in the end to win by enough points. I mean, Epsilon, as you said, Ben, they rotated to the away hill. They knew they had to go for their home hill, but that response, Optic Gaming were even one step ahead of that and knew exactly how to respond to ensure they win by this crucial seconds.
You almost wanted to see Epsilon do it a little quicker.
Yeah.
It was as soon as Optic Gaming were on their home hill, you needed to see Epsilon do it as well. There was that 5-second delay, which allowed Optic Gaming to, again, think that extra step ahead and say, all right, well, now we can just flood the neutral hill and secure the win as it stands at 2-2 here in map number 2. As it's actually been a very good series thus far. We'll see if Epsilon can try and put a stop to this Optic Gaming momentum now. 2 rounds back-to-back.
Frag grenades placed down into the center of the map, though. Courtesy of Epsilon. Shot grenades and snatch. Oh, Sam's going to take out summons. That's a good start for Epsilon. And it looks like they're going to be the first in to B. And historically, if they get in there first, they tend to win these battles. And as Explosive is cornered back, or at least trapped back to his half, courtesy of the shot grenade. And frag grenades going in the way of Epsilon in terms of possession.
And one thing to note, look who's controlled down below.
Yeah,
Mental was not allowed to get into Epsilon's side, and that's exactly why they won those B hill fights. Sam being more aggressive. However, this is the issue. Mental's that good with a sniper rifle, he will quite literally just run at you and just pop your head. Now though, Optic Gaming with that pressure over towards B, and Sam,
no way.
Don't try and peek Mental, not like that. Mental trying to put on a little bit of a show. He's going to switch over to the shotgun. We know just how good this man can be. Really is one of the goats of Gears of War 4. His sniping is honestly second to none as he looks now over towards that A hill. And you just feel sorry for anyone who does peek and stand still for a couple of seconds. Optic Gaming, break Epsilon setup.
Honestly, that map awareness needed from Mental to turn and just zoom at someone like that. Yep. Crazy. He's like, absolutely crazy, right?
If I was on Epsilon, what would I be doing? Oh, yeah, there's Sam with the sniper rifle, and that's a headshot. Nicely played, and you can see Epsilon just respecting Mental so much, waiting for everyone to come off spawn. As, a shot does come through, and this is where Mental can be so dangerous. That sniper rifle up top at B, I mean, you think about the line of sight, you think about the angles he has available to him. If he's able to get a couple of kills here, it will delay that push from Epsilon. Kenny as well now has a sniper rifle. Do bear that in mind.
Yeah, someone's getting the headshot as well. I think that's 3 snipes actually for Optic Gaming in their possession, and they're winning this battle in terms of the kills. But here comes Epsilon. Oh, ripped apart from them. In fact, as 2 kills go their favor.
About that.
About that. Yeah, I was about to say. Someone's on the flank though. Meanwhile, but Phelpsy's just going to put him to the ground. Not even much damage put Phelpsy's way in the movement of the EU player coming out.
And I love this. He's immediately rotated towards C. He should have a teammate who should be able to cap that B hill. A as well should be down to the player off spawn. Who is going to get to that B hill quick enough? Kenny, I mean, he's not really in the best of position here to try and defend that if it was to come through. You look at the score, this is good for Epsilon. They're reducing that lead. As it stands, Optic Gaming not getting any points. Finally, the pressure comes on B, but it was a little too late. Optic Gaming off spawn will retake control of C. However, Epsilon take the lead.
Yeah, Epsilon have done well enough to force Optic Gaming to prevent that triple cap. Now, they can set up. There might be snipers on the side of Optic Gaming. The smokes might be going in their way, but they have to hold on now, Ben. They can't take any risks. They have to hold on to this fort,
They need to get that set up very, very quickly, because the last couple of times they haven't really been able to lock it in. And that's when Optic Gaming have been able to just kind of break in towards B hill and get those kills, and that's what you're seeing happen once again. Explosive and Lava just blitzing towards the B hill. They're going to get control. Looking at that score, 186 to 176. Is this going to be enough? The 1 cap? I don't think so. It's going to be very, very close. But in fact, Optic Gaming, they say, I don't really care. We're going to stop Epsilon from getting any points whatsoever as they try and apply the pressure over towards A. The trip cap domination coming in, and it's going to be all down to Mental now. In fact, you look at that score, it doesn't even matter. He didn't even need to necessarily get it, but he will. And another one of those rounds now. The last couple really have been Epsilon in a position to win, but when the back is truly against the wall, when the pressure is on, when they have to make the correct decision, they're just not able to kind of have that final killing blow.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to aid the psychology of the Epsilon team there. They've lost 3 rounds in a row now. They started off strong with a 2-0, but being so close to winning that last round and then just lose it after a push from Optic Gaming.
It's a horrible.
It's not good, right?
It's a horrible.
Epsilon, they came off admittedly from a very good second half in terms of the first map. Yep. They won the 2 rounds, but is this the end of the momentum potentially?
This round is so important.
This is a nail biter. This is gonna be a crucial one as the respawns, as you see on your screen, folks, go up to 20 seconds. Incendiary's placed down bottom by the Epsilon team on this time of the weapon placement. Interesting to see if Sam actually goes for this. He has to make sure he prevents Mental at the same time, but as I think we've been answered actually, a separate member of Epsilon have gone down there, so they're not sending as many up top.
So they're going to lose that initial, or you would expect rather than to lose that initial up top engagement. The question of course is, do Optic Gaming kind of realize that Epsilon's a man down? Are they willing to immediately go at you with 20-second respawn delay? You make a mistake, you're going to get punished. However, of course, those instants already in Epsilon's control here, and Mental immediately has to respect that. You see him not willing to get too far into Epsilon's side, and now you're going to have Epsilon with so many tools and equipment here that they're looking good to win this early engagement.
Yeah, and utilizing them well as Craze picks up that nade kill, helping Ash to take out Lava. It seems like B is going to go that way, make that definite. In fact, as Kenny B gets taken down, oh, Mental's been caught out. Actually, can Sam take him down? No, Mental responds, but look at the pressure applied from Epsilon. 20-second respawn time we mentioned, and this is the result of that. Mental forced to dance for his life once again, but it's not looking good for him. In fact, he somehow gets a back A. That was incredible despite being full red. And Optic Gaming flood in from nowhere. Phelps, he's still alive, but that is going to be an awesome response from Optic Gaming. Benson's mind.
And that's the problem. you have one guy alive with a teammate coming off respawn, and you're like, okay, we can trip cap.
Yeah.
And then that one guy gets a triple kill on his home hill. It's like, how did that just happen? Like, that should not be happening. And then you think, all right, well, 20-second respawn, you've just thrown away the game. They literally, they had that. That was Epsilon's game. They had 2 players alive, essentially, to worry about. They lost the gunfights. An Optic trip captain, that's unbelievable. That really, and that's what makes Optic Gaming the best team in the world.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it really those scenarios, right, really just shows, as you mentioned, why they're the top team in the world.
And the scary thing is, I think you can put any one of the team in those situations, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to clutch.
Yeah, no doubt. It's my mind's blown after that round, in fact. It really does show how good Optic Gaming are. You've seen raw skill, you've seen teamwork, you've seen strats to counter what seemed like an unbreakable setup from Epsilon in terms of that first half. But here we go, second half time. I mentioned it earlier, Epsilon are very good at going for that E-hill equally as up top. They always play for these middle and center hills. The snipers are gone. Optic Gaming right now, they're still hanging in there. Epsilon definitely the more aggressive team as the kill trades come in. Oh, explosive the intelligence to turn around and catch Crazed out mid-roadie run. But it seems like regardless, Explosive's gonna have to sit back, play for his life as the E-hill does go in control of Epsilon.
Of course, the D-hill as it stands has been neutralized. You expect Epsilon to clean that up off spawn. And they will now have that 2-2. Ooh, as I say that, never mind. They lost those engagements over towards E, so Optic Gaming looking to now control the neutral mid-hill. And of course, you have to think if they're able to win this round straight off the half, the momentum is just going to be so heavy in Optic Gaming's favor. They should be able to close that round.
I mean, Epsilon really have to perform at the start of this half, or it might be a similar instance on Foundation. Here we go, though. Epsilon do pick up 2 kills. We see Swarm members just flying through windows every time we look towards that barn. Right now, it is favoring Epsilon, that kind of strategy, that aggressive approach as they capture the E-hill. But still, Optic Gaming, like Mental, hanging in there, playing their lives, but still a thorn in the back of the Epsilon team to keep them with backs against the wall.
They have to respect that. They know that any of those players can clutch up, but in a way, you can't play passive because of that. You have to keep being aggressive. Yeah, okay, it didn't work last round, but you cannot allow that to kind of affect your mental decisions and your in-game call-outs to your strategies. What are you going to do? You still have to push when you have those advantages. As Optic, once again, look to retake this E-hill. As it stands, it is Epsilon with a very fragile lead. Around about 3 points. Optic more than happy to just fly towards E, and they're going to get control of that. And now this is what's scary. You see the flood of Greenwall players heading towards that D-hill.
Oh, there's 3 members going that direction. But no, Kenny B's actually going to turn around. He's going to 180 backwards towards E. As remember, the respawn timer is low, but they are still applying the pressure at that way hill. Sam, I say that, I'm corrected. Sam does get to the D hill in time. Optic Gaming, they're using that map control, that angle provided on that spawn, that line of sight to put in the initial lance damage. It's going to change the attention now for Mental to apply the pressure at D. Sam forced to play his life, but it's enough for a distraction, right, to perhaps push that E hill in the meantime.
And that's exactly what Epsilon have done. However, they are losing control of their home hill. You see Mental being extremely aggressive. He's pushed straight through. Summons is there as well. Now Optic Gaming collapse on that E-hill. If Mental is able to just kind of put a stop to this Epsilon push off spawn, they would get that trip cap. You look at the score as well, 172 to 159. As it stands, Epsilon now will need that trip cap to come through here if they want to win this round. Pressure really is on their shoulders because it's something that they haven't really been able to do They just kind of flick that switch when their back is against the wall. We'll see though now if they're going to be able to do so. However, the problem is Optic Gaming, they're rotating over towards that E hill, and it's looking good with 3 players there that they should be able to win this round.
Yeah, they have the score lead. Surely they can wrap this one up now as the Epsilon members do 10 seconds left. The FL has actually been broken by Epsilon, but is it going to be enough? All they need to do is hold the E hill. Optic Gaming, they are going to do just that, and see the round off. Another close round for Epsilon.
They're just not able to close them out though. That's the problem.
Right.
They have these close rounds where you could see them being won. It's not like these are, you know, complete blowouts like we saw at the very, very beginning of the series. These are, you know, a couple of small decisions away, and you're picking up the win. The problem is for Epsilon now, you're going to be extremely demoralized. That's 5 rounds back to back.
Yeah, we just had Hydra on our screen there, and he looks incredibly deflated now compared to earlier rounds. And you said it right, Optic Gaming, they just have this finishing touch to when you compare their triple caps to, say, Epsilon's, it's just so much more snappy, it's so much quicker, so much more decisive. And when they do go for the triple caps, you just know. I thought Epsilon, when you go for the triple cap, that's going to be guaranteed, but Optic really have surprised me now. The 2 teams go head to head in that manner. And here we go though, Incendiaries is what Epsilon are going to be opting for this battle. Lava applying the pressure here, but he's going to meet Flames to his face. Can he be with the Incendiaries now? Can he make use of them? He is going to actually get a direct hit on Ash as the numbers do level out. Neither team trying to be aggressive at any location around this barn. But I say that Mental is applying the pressure along with Summons. They do collect the kills. So, explosive, and that is surely going to be Optic Gaming's E-Hill now. Even the FL being broken for a second as well. I wonder if an Optic Gaming player's there.
They already have a player over there, which is the scary thing. So after all those E-Hill engagements are gone, you know the players are going to stop flooding over there. And that's
one step ahead, right?
Yeah, it is exactly that. They're already thinking about how to finish the game. When you're thinking, oh, you know, let's control E, they're already thinking, no, let's finish the game. They really are a very, very talented squad. Cannot sing their praises enough. But Epsilon, of course, down, but by no means out just yet. They could try and string together a couple of rounds here, get the momentum back in their favor. Of course, it's not going to be easy, but it's definitely possible. That doesn't help, though, as Explosive just kind of runs straight past Sam. He's able to pick up that kill now, puts the pressure over towards F. Can Optic Gaming players collapse on E? That is being taken by Epsilon, also trying to put the pressure over towards D as well. There is a player over there. And I believe they're going to try and cap it. Ash now, if he wins this gunfight, this could be a trip cap in their favor. Has to be quick, though.
Wow, Explosive doing work, though. He takes out his enemy before the 2v1 scenario does come in. He gets the meat shield, and Sam pressured, but he has to take out this 1v. Explosive somehow on left hand. He's still confident enough in his shotgun and his movement to apply the damage, but Phelps, he is going to catch up. But, I mean, Optic Gaming's damage, they've bought themselves enough time, right, Ben, haven't they?
Can't allow Explosive to sit there for that long. Also pick up a kill, almost 2. If he gets 2 there, that's...
It's missed timing, right? Exactly. The Epsilon players should have waited for that 2v1, especially in your spawn hill as well. You can't mess up those crucial 1vs when a player is taking that much advantage in your enemy half, excuse me. But Epsilon have managed to capture E during the anarchy that was at that spawn hill. Kenny B and Optic Gaming already returning for that battle. Craze put in work, taking out Summons, but look at this. Optic Gaming already regrouping towards the back of him. And
just when Epsilon gets close to tying it up, Optic Gaming apply the pressure once again towards E. This one should stay with Optic Gaming's lead, as they will get control of that mid-neutral hill. So once again, Optic going to start building themselves a lead, and it's going to get to that point in around about 10-15 seconds where it's basically up to Epsilon to go for that trip cap. They really won't have any answers unless they're able to quickly retake E, and that seems to be the game plan. Explosive, he tries to jump into E for Optic Gaming, but recognizing not really with the numbers here, he may have to give this one up, but it's Explosive. He doesn't give up easily. Unfortunately, though, he will fall. It's Phelpsy once again with a double. You look at that score, 193 to 190. If it stayed like this, Epsilon could potentially take this round. We'll see. There's Summons desperately trying to break over towards E. Is he going to get that through? He has snuck all the way through. 203 to 203. It could be a potential tied game. This could be insane. Epsilon with a 1-point lead, and they will win the round as well. Staying alive when their backs are against the wall.
And you can see how difficult even getting one round with that advantage for Epsilon is, right? The rounds that Optic have won previously have been very clear-cut, but that one, even in the end when Optic had no choice but to go in for the shotgun battles, right at the end, it's still a nail-biter. It's still looking like Optic Gaming perhaps are the stronger team, despite a very good start, a very good lead.
But that could be the turn that they needed. Yeah. Now, can you string together a couple of rounds back and forth?
We know how escalation plays out. They can go that way, Ben.
It definitely can. Of course, that's what makes it one of the best game modes out there, to be completely honest. I absolutely love it. Cannot preach enough about escalation as a game type. But Optic Gaming, they do still, of course, have a relatively comfortable lead, I think it's fair to say, 5-3. If Epsilon was to win this next round, though, that's when we can start thinking about that comeback.
Yeah, no doubt. Epsilon have proved themselves. They can win a round on this after this half time. They put 2 rounds on the board as well at the very start, and it's 2-round difference isn't much. Despite that 7-round limit being very close, Fire and Flames going in at the top barn area, but already you see COG members pushing across that midline of the map. Mental getting the body check on Phelpsy, but they are going to take cover. Here comes Ashlow in the back of Lava, taking the kill there. E-Hill has been captured, though, by Epsilon. They already begin this setup, but Optic Gaming are still knocking on this door, and it seems to be working for them here.
It seems to be the mid-neutral here on the second half. Epsilon are having a much more difficult time controlling as opposed to up top. What do you think is really the reason for that? Is it just because down below it's a little bit more open, there's more kind of sightline? What is the reason?
You know, I think it's a much stricter team fight up top, right? There's not much cover. You have to go head-to-head, apart from that Phelpsy flank, of course. In the barn, you kind of play into the Optic Gaming's favor, right? They can dance around, wiggle, keep you occupied, and a good distraction is definitely what they've been doing. I keep mentioning Optic Gaming go through the middle. They look to put in the damage, but they play back and keep their lives. But finally, Epsilon are managing to get a good setup as you bring up the overhead. There's 4 members down bottom. Sam is up top, the anchor. So it really is down to Optic Gaming that why they've waited for the respawns is their only option. But can they make this team push count?
14-second respawns, of course, here in the 3rd round of the second half. And you may see with the control Epsilon actually have on the map here, they're able to get a couple of kills. That could be actually the opening they need. 2 kills coming from Phelpsy, but just like that, Kenny B and Summons simultaneously able to pick up 2 of their own. Ash, though, responds with a double. That's going to be 4 down for Optic Gaming for a couple of moments here. You expect to see that flood come through. Players immediately off spawn, though, those kills not chained quick enough. So Epsilon wisely decide against trying to push for that trip cap because, I mean, we saw it happen earlier on, actually, when they went for the trip cap. Optic Gaming said, no, not today, my pals. They got 5 down and actually trip capped Epsilon themselves.
Here's Optic Gaming's response, though. They want to apply the pressure at the enemy's home hill. And you saw Mental back away from map control, that balcony area, just to play it safe so Epsilon can make a play on his life. But here is the regroup. Explosive is going to take control up top. Ash, you can see Epsilon, they know how to play this out. They want to keep it safe at the E-Hill, not be swayed by the Optic Gaming team. They know that is the focus, but look at the score limit. Castro is the top left, 189 going up to 190. The score, the time is running out for Optic, and they really need to make a push now. Epsilon, they have to win this round, in my opinion.
And that was a lovely use of instance as well. They can't really throw this away. It doesn't look like they're going to do so either. The kills all in Epsilon's favor. They close it out comfortably. Now, of course, at 4 rounds, can they string together just a few more? And one kind of question I know maybe a couple of Europeans, if they are watching, maybe asking, is, you feel jet lag at all right now, Toby?
Oh, 100%.
You do? So you can assume maybe the player's getting a little tired.
I mean, I think it's like 8 a.m. in the UK right now in terms of sleeping patterns. You pull out your watch, have to check.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Yeah?
Close. Okay. You'd probably be just waking up right now, Toby? No, you probably just go to sleep, huh?
We'll see. But I'm hoping we do go to a final map. I mean, Epsilon, they're only 1 round behind Optic Gaming. And of course, the M bar is being placed up top as we see the overhead. And it's by Optic Gaming, right? You saw Mental applying the pressure there, regaining map control, and he's already going to go for that. And this is a weapon that is, in the right hands, better than the sniper rifle, those body checks. And really, you're not going to get many headshot opportunities due to the players whisking past that window for a second, but it might be enough time for the skill of Mental to get those crucial body checks and maybe insta-kills as the M-Bar can collect.
Let's have a look. See, Mental still going to be in your screens as he has managed to go all the way to the top of the map, pick up the M-Bar, and rotate all the way to the bottom of the map. E-Hill still going to be completely neutral. Optic have just delayed that gunfight, recognizing the importance this M-Bar really could provide. Epsilon, though, feeling
good smoke, though, right?
That's a fantastic smoke. Really not giving Mental anything as he blindly fires the M-Bar. And unfortunately for Optic Gaming, not really able to utilize that as well as they would have liked. And Craze just kind of jumps in and picks up Explosive.
Oh,
there we go.
What talk about, yeah.
Mental does connect with the pick finally on Craze, but it's a trade more than anything else. It didn't really provide them an opening there at that B-Hill. Epsilon look good here, potentially to level it up here at 5 rounds apiece. However, Lava, he's instantly rotated over towards F.
Epsilon defended the E-Hill very well, but Lava is just stretching them thin.
But I like this. This is so much better.
Response, yeah.
So much better from Epsilon. As soon as they recognize their home hill is kind of being taken from Optic Gaming, they wrap immediately to Optic Gaming's home hill. However, the problem is they're not actually able to win it. That's definitely problematic, especially considering those players that just won their home hill are most likely going to wrap here to the E hill as well. And the players off spawn for Epsilon, they've not been able to break the setup that Optic Gaming have provided. And here comes the E cap. It's going to be Kenny, and he should be able to simply cap that to 1v1. But Phelpsy, he's going to go down, and Optic Gaming still somehow defending 3 players from Epsilon. I don't know how they managed to do that for so long.
Yeah, they've pretty much built their base right there. I think Epsilon, they just need to slow down a little bit. There is a lot of height advantage in those shotgun miles, and Optic Gaming were using that to their advantage. Now Crazy's been caught thin as he kills himself with the incendiary. The players keep dropping for Epsilon, and this is what Optic Gaming are known for, right? This float so flexible, and even when Epsilon have such a fort, smoke grenades and M-bar against them, but even then, it wasn't enough to break them. And here,
it was just a heads-up play from Optic Gaming, recognizing, all right, they have full control of E. That's absolutely fine. We're going to push their home hill, and they're so good at kind of fortifying the enemy's base, if you will, that it makes it so difficult to break. And then able to get full map control as Mental on your screen. Already going to shut down Craze, looking for more. That's going to be Phelpsy, so a quick double for him. He does have Sam just to his left-hand side. Did he spot him? Yes, he did. He's not going to be able to connect just yet. If you look at the score though, 184 to 152. This is looking good for the green wall. As you see, I think Phelpsy decided that he wants to try, or sorry, Sam, he wants to try and rotate towards the Optic Gaming home hill, but Mental, he doesn't miss those.
This is how good the M-bar is, right? He's just getting free body checks. He doesn't even need to aim that long compared to, say, a sniper rifle, even though he gets zoomers with a sniper. This guy's a god with a weapon, but admittedly, M-bar proven effective there, and that was a very good strat actually from Optic Gaming. Something we typically don't see, a weapon of the M-bar, and especially being placed up top. They're clearly utilizing that to their advantage, and now they're at match point.
Map number 1, of course, was 7-4 in favor of Optic Gaming. We find ourselves at 6-4 here, and the question is, what do you do if you're Epsilon here in weapon placement?
It's a difficult one, no doubt, but I think Epsilon, they need to play to their strength. They need to try and hold on to this BL, but E-hill, excuse me, but when Optic Gaming knocking on your spawn hill, you haven't got many decisions or opportunities to counteract that. Let's check out the overhead, though. What are these teams doing? It is Epsilon 4-man to that barn area. Mental, meanwhile, though, is going to go straight back to that M-bar. It's utilized so well in the last one. Sam not close enough, not applying the pressure, and once again, the battle of the anchors. Mental might get
the fight does come through, actually, and they did not want to give Mental that for free. It was what, 3 versus 1? Mental somehow still alive. He's managed to shut down Craze, looking for a double, but no, not going to happen. Sam does finally put a stop to that, but it was looking as if that was a flank gone wrong for Epsilon, and it may have just been that. Optic Gaming, in the blink of an eye, Epsilon dedicated so many resources to make sure Mental didn't get the M-bar. The Optic said, oh, you're sending 3 players, that's fine. We're going to get the trip cap, and the #1 seed in North America will trump the #1 seed in Europe.